might be the perfect moment to revisit the wardrobe and take another journey to Narnia, especially since Greta Gerwig, the director behind Barbie, is now involved in making a Narnia movie. Let's dive into all the details we have about the film. Now let's start with what happened to the Chronicles of Narnia: The Silver Chair. First things first, The Silver Chair was the fourth novel published in the Chronicles of Narnia series, but it's actually the sixth story in the franchise's chronology. The plot follows Eustace Scrubb and his friend Jill Pole, who are introduced to Narnia for the first time. Aslan sends the pair on a journey to rescue Prince Rilian, the son of King Caspian, who has been captured and bound to the titular silver chair.
In order to prevent the abominable effusion of blood, do hereby challenge the usurper Miraz to single combat upon the field of battle. The fight shall be to the death.
They eventually discover that Rilian's captor is the Lady of the Green Kirtle, a shapeshifter who transforms into a serpent and is later slain by Rilian. In the end, Prince Rilian is reunited with his father, King Caspian, shortly before Caspian's death, and Rilian is named the new King of Narnia. Scrubb and Poole then return to Aslan's country and are eventually sent back to England. With that said, why didn't the Silver Chair happen? The main reason is the significant decrease in box office revenue between each movie in the Chronicles of Narnia franchise. This decline forced the studio, Walden Media, to shift its plans. Instead of adapting The Silver Chair, they considered making a prequel by adapting The Magician's Nephew. However, this idea was dropped when Walden Media lost the rights to the Chronicles of Narnia in 2011. In 2013, a new adaptation of The Silver Chair was announced, this time by the Mark Gordon Company. Initially, things looked promising when Captain America director Joe Johnston signed on to the project in 2017. However, development lagged and the original cast members had aged out of their roles, necessitating an entirely new cast. This adaptation was intended to reboot the Narnia franchise and likely would not have included any cast members from the original film series, including Liam Neeson as Aslan. Johnston's adaptation never came to fruition, and in 2018, Netflix announced it would be taking over the Chronicles of Narnia franchise to develop both films and television series. This new development seemed to be the final nail in the coffin for the Silver Chair film, as there was no further attempt to revive the project after the complications that had arisen during its planning stages. With that being said, Greta Gerwig could potentially give us the Silver Chair in the Netflix reboot. The challenge with adapting the Chronicles of Narnia stories into films isn't necessarily due to the length of the books themselves, but more about how to effectively translate them into a cinematic format. For example, the new Harry Potter TV series is able to delve into aspects of the books that the movies didn't have time for, offering a fresh perspective and new content for audiences. In contrast, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe have already been fully explored in their film adaptation, leaving little new material from the book to cover. However, Greta Gerwig's unique perspective offers a compelling reason to revisit these classic stories. Just as numerous adaptations of Shakespeare's works have brought new life and interpretations, Gerwig's take on The Silver Chair could bring fresh insights and creativity to C.S. Lewis's world. It's important to note that while Lewis's Narnia books are short reads intended for young audiences, adapting them for film often requires filling in gaps with additional story and action to create a more engaging and complete cinematic experience. Expanding small stories has been successfully done in other series like HBO's House of the Dragon. However, turning Narnia into a Hollywood epic poses a different set of challenges. The key will be to balance staying true to the original charm and simplicity of the Narnia books while adding depth and richness to fit the film medium. With Gerwig's talent and vision, this could be an exciting new chapter for the Narnia series. Having said that, The Last Battle presents major story problems that any cinematic adaptation would need to navigate carefully. The fantasy genre is known for its powerful and bittersweet endings, exemplified by popular works like The Lord of the Rings: Return of the King and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. However, the last battle takes a darker turn and is surrounded by controversies, particularly regarding its treatment of certain characters and themes. One of the most controversial aspects of the last battle is its revelation about the Pevensies' fate, suggesting that they have been dead all along after a train crash and were transported to Narnia as true believers. This twist, while intriguing to some, has been criticized for its handling of Susan and the overall tone of the story. Additionally, the depiction of the Calormenes have been accused of being inappropriate and potentially offensive. These controversies, along with a narrative departure from earlier installments, would require significant changes for a cinematic adaptation. While the last battle does offer some potentially cinematic conflicts, it is considered one of the weakest volumes of the series and would need careful consideration and adaptation to be successful on screen. Now let's delve into why The Horse and His Boy might be better skipped in any cinematic adaptation of the Chronicles of Narnia. While it's the fifth book in the series, it's often regarded as the weakest installment. Unlike The Last Battle, which has its own controversies, The Horse and His Boy feels more like a standalone novel with little connection to the overarching narrative of the series. One of the main reasons is that the primary characters in The Horse and His Boy essentially disappear from the series afterward and are barely mentioned in the final two books. While the book does offer glimpses into unexplored areas of Narnia, it doesn't contribute significantly to the larger story arc. As such, adapting it into a movie might not be the best use of resources, especially if the goal is to create a cohesive and compelling film series. Furthermore, focusing on The Horse and His Boy would require a significant investment of time and effort, potentially stretching the adaptation process over many years. Given the need to introduce new characters and diverge from the main storyline, it might be better suited as a spin-off or standalone project, similar to Rogue One in the Star Wars franchise. Another aspect to consider is the handling of Susan Pevensies' character in later Narnia books, particularly in The Last Battle. Susan's story has been a source of controversy and criticism, with some interpretations suggesting misogyny in C.S. Lewis's portrayal of her. Her exclusion from true Narnia and the implications of her interests as she grows older have raised concerns about the treatment of female characters in the series. Any adaptation would need to address these issues thoughtfully and potentially make significant changes to avoid perpetuating problematic themes. Lastly, adapting the Chronicles of Narnia for modern audiences will require adjustments to accommodate the outdated elements of C.S. Lewis's writing. While the books have timeless themes, certain aspects such as language and religious allegory may need to be updated to resonate with contemporary viewers. Greta Gerwig's approach to classic material, as demonstrated in Little Women, suggests that she is well equipped to tackle these challenges thoughtfully and provide a modern examination of the Chronicles of Narnia's enduring ideals. And that wraps up today's video. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Silverchair movie in the Netflix reboot? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Feel free to share your ideas for future videos. We always love hearing from you.